My mother refused to speak of that Halloween. She told people my father had simply left, that he'd broken under the weight of too many years in a dying town, too many nights of insomnia, too many of those stories he claimed were warnings. But I knew better. I was 12 when the clown came back. That year, the leaves fell early. By mid-October, the trees were skeletal, branches scratching against the windows like they were trying to get inside. Every time the wind blew, I imagined I could hear a faint giggle. I started to keep a notebook. I'd write down the nights when the air felt colder, when the shadows in the corners seemed to shiver and stretch. I thought, if I could prove to Mom that something was out there, she'd finally believe me. But she never looked at the pages, not even when I showed her the first balloon of the season. I found it on our porch, the morning of October 29th, bobbing in the brittle air, tied to the doorknob with twine that smelled like damp earth. The note attached was written in the same crude letters as the one on my bedroom balloon 2 years before. Almost time to smile again. Mom ripped it from my hand and stuffed it into the stove before I could stop her. She said, "No more of this. You hear me? No more." But the smoke from the burning paper smelled like rotting pumpkins and old pennies. That night, I didn't sleep. I sat by my window with a flashlight and the old baseball bat my father left behind, staring down our street. Just before dawn, I saw him. The clown was farther away this time, standing under the burned-out street lamp across from the Mitchell's place. He didn't wave. He didn't move. He only tilted his head as if studying me, as if deciding whether I was ready. My breath clouded the glass. My heartbeat was so loud it drowned out the hush of the wind. And then he turned and vanished behind the hedgerow. For the next 2 days, no one in town saw anything. I tried to warn my classmates. I told them the stories. How, every few years, he came back. How he took people who weren't careful, but they only laughed. On Halloween morning, I woke to the smell of something sour drifting through the house. I crept into the kitchen and found a trail of dark stains on the linoleum. They led from the back door to the cellar. My mother stood at the top of the steps, her hand on the knob. I whispered, "Don't open it." She didn't listen. The door swung wide with a groan that sounded almost human. At first, I thought the cellar was empty. But then I saw it. A red balloon floated in the darkness below. The string was tied to something I couldn't see. My mother took 1 step down the stairs. I grabbed her arm and yanked her back. She turned to me with eyes so wide the whites showed all around. "He's here," she whispered. We slammed the door and pushed the kitchen table in front of it. For hours we sat together, barely breathing. I tried to pretend the shadows under the door weren't moving, that I didn't hear soft footsteps pacing back and forth below. At sunset, everything went still. My mother finally stood up and pulled me close. "I'm sorry," she said. "I should have listened." When she opened the cellar door again, the balloon was gone. But in its place, a message was scrawled across the cement floor in thick letters. "Smile wide, little boy." That night the clown came for the Mitchells' youngest daughter. She was 9. They never found her body. Only her costume, folded neatly on her bed, and a trail of red balloons drifting across the yard. After that, even the adults stopped pretending. Because everyone in Briar Hollow finally understood. You can't run from a smile that never fades.